quarantine, state of emergency, shelter in place. The story of the coronavirus changes by the hour. So how exactly did we get here?
If you could describe 2020 in one word, what would that word be?
How would I describe 2020 in one word? Can I swear? Can I say shit show? Is that okay? I'll say gong show.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Fuck.
Can I say that?
Unpredictable.
Challenging. It's been difficult to basically be on pause.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, one word. So many things happen. Growth?
Different.
Oh man, I just had this feeling in my stomach after you said that. That's a tough one because there's been good and bad things that have happened. I'd say scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
Oh man, horrible. It's the first word that comes to mind.
Tough.
Deflating. Deflating is my choice of words there.
Wow.
Loss.
I would use the word confusion.
I would say hard. A hard year on every level, personally and professionally, and just in general, hard. Hard to look at ourselves in the mirror as a planet, I think.
Challenging.
I would describe 2020 as a year of change, of endings and change.
Growth.
Chaotic.
I would have to say loss. There's so much loss we've all experienced in the past year, whether it be loss of loved ones, loss of life, loss of health, insecurity in our health. We've lost jobs, businesses, projects, opportunities, and for many people it feels like a loss of a part of their future, a big part of their future.
That word would be apocalyptic.
Change.
Describe your work pre-pandemic.
Singer, dancer, entertainer.
As an actor, going on auditions, creating my own work, writing my own work, and I was also working as a brand ambassador.
I was performing a lot, rehearsing a lot, teaching a lot.
Like trade shows, for example, touring, anything that involves a large crowd.
I worked as a full-time freelance brand ambassador.
So I teach music and development classes for the company Little Rebels.
And I'd guest teach a little bit. I would also bartend at the Nutcracker as a head bartender at the Canadian Opera Company, and I'd do some catering.
Hit and Run Dance Productions was a thriving live performance entertainment firm. We were always working. There was never a time that we didn't have events on the horizon.
Performing, dancing on cruise ships, doing dancing and aerial. Mascotting work for both the sports teams. And then I was also starting to do pretty much just solely other acting work whenever I got my gigs.
I was working with Nintendo, like field managing all of their events.
I was busy as an MC. I would MC corporate events, parties, mitzvahs and things like that, award shows, competitions as well. I would also adjudicate competitions across the country. I also had dance classes, so I had my own school. That was all pre-COVID.
So I'm an aerialist, so performer. I own a circus studio, so teaching and running that. As well, I own an entertainment company, so putting together corporate shows, shows on a bigger scale with other production companies.
I was working as a dancer, performing shows on a weekly basis.
I was a cheerleader for the National Lacrosse League here in Toronto, and then during the days I was working as a brand ambassador doing festivals, conventions, food and wine sampling all across the GTA.
So I'm a freelance costume designer, and most of my customers are street performers, circus performers, dancers.
I was teaching very regularly in studio, running my dance company for over 30 dancers, running shows every single weekend.
I am a coach, choreographer, and dancer for a pro cheerleading team. I am also the artistic director and owner of a dance studio.
I've been a professional dancer for 10 years and a dance teacher as well.
We were in sports entertainment, so we did the Toronto Wolfpack and the Toronto Arrows, halftime shows, pre-game shows, and we're also in DJ programming for bars and clubs, corporate events, private events, weddings, anywhere you needed a DJ or a live band, that was us.
I was working full-time as a dancer and a dance teacher and also as a musician. How did it feel losing your work?
Everything I do was just gone.
It felt like it was kind of taken away from me. Like, I feel that I have the power to bring smiles, and when I've lost that power to bring happiness and hope to people, I do struggle.
Kind of like, well, you know, I'm still not working, but you guys are, and things are kind of the same for me. So it was very, very frustrating.
To get a phone call from an agent that currently the program is on hold until further notice, then suspended, then the infamous pink slip that you have been furloughed, and your employment contract has been terminated.
I really missed working and seeing my friends, and obviously getting paid.
There was zero MC work for me, so I lost all of that, and it was definitely a frustrating time.
And there's no consideration taken in for studios like my studio, literally affecting the livelihood of people. So not only my livelihood, but the livelihood of my teachers and my staff. It was a really hard pill to swallow.
I think this would be my 11th year in the professional dance industry and my 32nd year dancing in general. So when everything came to an end, I felt like not only am I losing 100% of my income, but I'm also losing my passion, my lifestyle as I knew it for that many years, and my favorite hobby all at once.
I was feeling really terrified. I had no idea what to do. I was scared. And during this past year, I guess I could say that I felt like I lost my livelihood. So this has been really a time where I've been just trying to figure it out, kind of how to reinvent myself, I guess. So I didn't really think, I wasn't putting my head into like, oh, what am I gonna do and be depressed about it. I was just like, I have to move. So I just got into organizing events, everything online.
It's almost a year later and we still haven't had that chance to perform again.
I was beside myself. I was like, my kids came in to take class. I was like bawling my eyes out because these poor kids, and I'm like, how can we explain this to them?
Not only did I lose my entire income, but I also lost a part of myself, who I am as an individual with my work, and it was extremely difficult. Did you qualify for financial assistance, and if so, was it helpful to you?
Being self-employed, but still employed by other companies, makes it very tricky to figure out even taxes every year. So there was a lot of fear in the first couple weeks of, you know, is this payment from this event going to have to last me until this pandemic is over? I was able to collect the CERB, and without it, I don't know where I would be.
So unfortunately, we didn't receive any support from the government for our business. We received no grants, no subsidies, nothing. We were not eligible for any of them, so we have been skating by the skin of our teeth, and all of our bookings have been either rescheduled into the end of this year or 2022, or not at all. We have no interest in folding the business, so we're trying to keep it afloat on our own.
Yes, I got CERB, which was really helpful because the majority of my income was from performing.
I was eligible to get a wage subsidy, so that was helpful.
It was good in the sense it helped you cover rent, but like you're not able to do anything else because it was like I'm thankful, but it just wasn't that much.
I was fortunate to have it because it was a lifesaver.
I, to date, have been eligible for nothing, $0.0 from the government. And I rely fully on people coming into my studio if I'm speaking about my circus studio. So needless to say, that has been horrible. It's not just rent. Like, I have a lot of overhead on top of rent. My equipment is very expensive. Yeah, so hanging on by a thread, like literally hanging on by a thread.
I was accepted to it. Did it pay off all the bills? No. Like, our insurance alone is, I think, $750 for business, car, whatever, right? So
Thank you, government, for stepping in and just providing something. Now, even though these grants were available to us and the government CRB was available, it still didn't match the income that I would have had coming in. So I definitely lost, I think it was about 85% of the income I was supposed to make. Close to 90% of that disappeared.
Luckily, and I'm very grateful for it, that I was able to access it. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have survived.
Yes, oh my God, extremely. Or else I wouldn't have been able to live here. I probably would have had to move back in with my mom.
We got a little bit and then realised that, well, we're going to have to, make that pivot, which for us was rather large to keep going, to have the money to survive and pay the lease and keep the lights on and all the associated costs with the business.
I did qualify for CERB and also for the CRB, and without that I wouldn't have been able to pay any of my bills. So it was really a lifesaver for me. I mean, it was just enough.
What was the hardest part about navigating a global pandemic within this industry?
We have been limited to creating online digital content, which is fine. It's just not the original mandate of our business. So here we are, relearning and recreating pathways that we're not trained to do. We're live performers, but it's hard to watch everything you worked for go up in flames, really.
I mean, I was working 7 days a week, like full days pre-pandemic, seeing probably hundreds of people a day, and just overnight the industry kind of disappeared. It's sad, it hurts. It hurts people like me, it hurts the people that own the agencies, it hurts the brands.
As there was no money. This was a zero-sum year for us. So that was also really hard for us.
No, we're kind of at the bottom of the priority list for the government. We don't really see the financial support and the recognition that I think that we should be receiving at this point.
It's extremely sad. And that just shows you how fragile we really were going into this. There was no plan for anything.
I think it's a big identity crisis for people. You feel like your identity has been stripped of you.
It was really, our industry was the one that was suffering, I think, the most. Get us back out there, man. It's hard to say, yeah.
That makes me very sad to see a lot of people questioning their dreams and desires, because I think that it's hard already. And then to have this big roadblock is very sad.
It's just very hard when all the rules are they don't make sense. You can go to Costco and get your big thing of toilet paper, but I can't have 2 people training in my studio that I clean every 2 hours, that the doors are open, that everything's sanitized, we're wearing masks, we're 14, I believe, feet apart. No, it's more than that, actually. Do you know what I mean? That's hard. I believe the hardest thing is that we don't know when it's going to end. Like if someone were to say, hey, I mean, even as shitty as this sounds, like February 10th, 2022, everything will be literally like it's 1999. Like, I feel like in our head we could be like, okay, so we need to prepare and we need to make a plan and we need to navigate until then, but we don't know. And it's like this and it like little bit and then it goes, like it's just the unknown that is like exhausting.
We have no idea. We have absolutely no idea. And it's really disheartening to feel that, to feel like, you know, the thing I went to school for, the thing that I do as a living, I don't know. And I know for a lot of people, because they're not able to do that, they've had to move back home or they've had to take jobs they don't want. And I just think, yeah, it's really unsettling to not know when.
For some of these people who've been working full time for their whole life to suddenly be told that their job doesn't matter or isn't important, but, you know, try going to an event or a party or a club or a bar, you know, without a DJ. And I think that's what's been really, really tough. And I've seen a lot of DJs in some very depressing sort of situations over the last year. Some of them have even just packed up, moved home. Some have had to go and change jobs.
Do you believe that the arts and entertainment industry are essential to society?
Do I believe arts and entertainment are essential? OMG, that is a hell yes. As soon as the lockdown started, artists were the first ones to step up. We were the first ones to say, okay, everyone, this is short. We got this, okay? You know what? Stay positive. And then let's put some classes out there. Let's put some free things out there. Let's do some Instagram lives. I've got these lessons, come join. And we were always keeping people energized and creative and motivated and things like that. Yet, I feel like we're the last ones to get the support.
The arts are so essential to society, and society doesn't realize how essential the arts are. What have you been doing during the pandemic? You've been watching TV, reading books, making recipes, listening to music, shut up! Stupid dogs are barking. Wanna go outside? Yeah, you go. Okay. Reading books, watching TV, listening to podcasts, following recipes. These are all things created by artists to be shared.
It's very, very crucial. And like for some people, it's, you know, all they know. They grew up in this kind of industry, and just to have it kind of like stripped away, it really sucks.
Society would pretty well be nothing without it.
Our entire culture is based around arts, and it's what's gotten us through COVID.
Yes, even before you finished the question, I was like, yes. You turn on Netflix, or you go to see a show and you're immersed in that, and for 2 hours you're like swept away. Like it's essential. It actually is essential. I do believe that.
Not only do we take people places that are magical and whimsical and where there's no cares in the world, we also use art to speak about matters.
I think when things come back, yeah, we're going to be absolutely essential, not just for everybody else, but for each other.
Arts and entertainment shows our resilience, our courage, our vitality to endure, to enjoy, and to also challenge our everyday life and the status quo.
Yes, absolutely. People need entertainment. I mean, which is why everyone's sitting on Netflix right now. And that's like, you know, if there's not a new special out this week, what are we gonna do? Yes, arts has always been essential, and it always will be essential.
It's time for, I think, society to start and the government to start appreciating artists.
It has the power to educate people. It has the potential to make people feel something. And it's also a way for us to express ourselves, our ideas, our creativity, to actually feel something or be moved by somebody else's art or expression.
Of course it is.
Absolutely. In a city like Toronto, it employs every single person that I know.
What's that thing that people say? Earth without art is just eh.
Why do you love this profession?
I love dancers, I love actors, I love being on stage, and I love the creative process. I always thought, being a dancer was one of the hardest things that I could ever do, that anybody can undertake. But for me, one of the hardest things is not being a dancer. You don't get to choose the profession, it chooses you.
Long story short, I love it because I love being part of other people loving dance, and it's a very special connection. Butterflies in your stomach do no justice to what performing truly feels like. Anyone in the arts, you want to pursue a career in it because you like influencing how people feel.
Working in a job that doesn't feel like work is, I think, a key to a really long and happy life.
I love being able to take the intangible and make it tangible. Those creative ideas that I have and being able to express that myself, or being able to create choreography and share that with a class.
I love this work because it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel passionate. It makes me feel I have purpose. I love my profession. I love dancing.
Because I wouldn't know what else to do.
I love what I do. I love that I can share inspiration with others and to inspire them, to give them hope, to move forward in their lives, whatever direction that may be.
I like to do creative things. It's been a year of sitting in front of a computer screen. That is not my vibe.
I love what I do because A, it keeps me in shape, keeps my spirits up. You know what I mean? It's like you're filling cups, right? So when you entertain, you watch people get out of their mind and into the moment, and there's something really beautiful about that.
Do you have any words of encouragement to your fellow artists?
All of you out there who are still hoping to create art and who are still creating art and hoping to be in environments with people again, working big events, working concerts, working street fairs, it's coming back. You can't kill artists. You can take everything we have away and we will still create art, even if you haven't created anything over the past year, because you can't. I haven't created anything over the past year because I can't. You're still an artist.
I want artists themselves to know that we're so strong. Like we can handle anything. We can handle this. This is a black swan event. This literally happens once every 100 years or so, and we're still here.
I would just say hang in there. Obviously, things will return to whatever normal is going to be. Don't give up. You're in this for a reason. You love it, whatever you do. So hang in there. Things will get better.
Yeah, grow, learn, and expand your craft. If you're an entertainer and you have the opportunity right now, go put 5 minutes in, go put 10 minutes in, 15 minutes, whatever, and just do something live on Facebook. Make some people smile, because we need that human connection right now.
I think at the end of the day, just don't let go of who you are and what you do. Really, you're always going to be that thing, and even if you have to take another job stocking shelves or working in a warehouse, it's not going to take away from the fact that you're an artist and you'll always be an artist, and just never let go of that.
What are your hopes for the industry post-pandemic?
Well, I can't wait to have a big show.
It needs to come back in person because it's also squashing a lot of people's sparkle right now, including my own. I'm quite sparkly usually, I feel. The sparkle is fading quickly. We will find a way, absolutely. It will come back, and I hope that it comes back even stronger because we've had it taken away.
We have a roaring 20s, and that everybody wants to dance and create and to experience out of this world entertainment. I think we're necessary. I think we're needed. I think more now than ever, our voices are strong and important.
I also want to stress and emphasize how important it is for us to get support from just our local networks, our friends, our families, our previous clients, etc.
I definitely want to make sure that we all go back to normal so we can entertain live, because there's nothing more, spiritually connecting than being live in front of people and having that human connection of 5 people in the same room, or 10 or 20 or 100 or 5,000 or whatever it is, just to be chanting something, right? Chanting a love song or clapping all at the same time, or everybody yelling something. It's like this beautiful energy.
Post-pandemic, I hope that that disconnect between society and viewing arts as a legitimate profession and a huge part of our world disappears. I hope that we're recognized as just as important and essential as everyone else.
So I hope, people realize that, we need those things. It's a part of life. It's, if you can't have fun in life, like, what's the point?
But I hope once people are able, once everybody's vaccinated and we're all caught up financially, that everybody goes out and supports live theater, be it a ballet, an opera, a concert, a play, a musical, whatever. Just go out and support the arts. TV and movies and everything, that's here to stay. That's going to survive. But the little guys, those little theaters, they're really going to need our help. I always say, I can't wait till we can all gather in the theater again.
My hopes post-pandemic are that we'll get to dance again.
I honestly don't know what to say. I'm trying to live in the moment. I think that's the best thing that we can do. And my hopes are that we will be able to share art with the public, and it will be supported and appreciated, and just helping us move forward to a more harmonious way of living.
Yeah, I hope that there's a lot of respect for what we do when we come back, because we're obviously, we want to get back to work, but it's been a tough one.
When the pandemic is finally over, I think that the arts community as a whole, we're too strong-willed and too determined to let our industry die out. We're not going to throw away 30-something years of training for our particular profession to look back and say that was just in a past life. Like, it's just, we've worked way too hard to get to this point, and to have to throw it away as if the industry is not coming back is just not even in the cards. So I think obviously we understand why our industry had to shut down. Of course we understand, but we are here to let the world know that we're not going anywhere.